Good evening, Free Enterprise fans, and welcome to your Saturday night race. I am Alisel, and I am joined here by Gambit. How are you doing tonight, Gambit?
I am doing well, and I'm looking forward to this race between two very, very good runners. Looking forward to seeing Xenocat taking on Harumph in game 2 of 3. Harumph having taken game 1 has that little crystal lit up to signify that. And it looks like it's going to be a good one. Loving these objectives. We've got the three statics of Wyvern, K. Bahamut, and the Legends Forged the Legends Sword with the Adamant. Excuse me. And then our two fun ones, Waking Yang with the Pan, defeating the easiest boss in the game.
Now, the fun part is you do have to find that easiest boss in the game. That kind of gives us 3 real boss hunts with Wyvern, King Queen Eblin, and that Demus that could be holding a special key item.
Yeah, so what we're rooting for as viewers is Wyvern and King Queen Eblin and the Giant, right?
Absolutely.
But so far, our runners have not shown us who our starting character is. Harumph's giving us a nice view of his little naming scheme, which is absolutely wonderful tonight.
Yep, just a cute little naming scheme, probably referencing Xenocat, who has done some great work in adding some more harp songs to the pool.
Yeah, it looks like Harumph just takes issue with having to use a black chocobo to get there.
Well, why use a black chocobo when you could wait till the end of the seed when you've won and just check it in Eddie's room?
Exactly. But yeah, looking forward to what will more likely be a very close match. Again, these two runners seated 35th and 37th in this one. Very, very competitive race between the two of these runners. And old guards in the community, been around for a while and definitely know their way around this game. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how they go into this seed.
And Harumph is up by 1 game here in this series, so Xenocat needs to pull out a win to go to a game 3. Otherwise, Harumph will be going to the round of 32.
Yeah, and we know for a fact that Fusuya is not our hero because Fusuya is not lit up. Because if he was our hero, we'd have the name available for him. Unfortunately, we don't. He was at that little blank spot, so we know it wasn't him. It looks like it is a Porum, if I am not mistaken.
That is a Porum. Some people love Porum. Some people would like her yeeted off the cliff.
There are seeds that Porum is useful. She does learn Exit pretty early on, which can be helpful in situations where, say, you're diving the Cave Eblin, looking for a boss, and you want to exit right back out after checking the character. In Cave Magnus, very useful, as well as in the Lunar Subterrane, as well as the Fey March. Other people are just like, yeah, no, I find a Porum, I yeet her out the airlock. Well, too bad, you're stuck with her today.
And that Porum can use a heroine robe, and early on you get her a good set of arrows, a bow, that heroine robe. Porum Angie, Porum kill.
Porum can go Berg when she needs to, but it does look like we are underway. Both runners getting going. We'll see who this Porum is teamed up with today. Well, there's our first vanilla of the seed.
And that is a Cain and a Leviathan summon, guarded by a DKC.
Yeah, DKC in the buying spot, that's actually a very good thing to see. That's going to be relatively free when we get to that point. Give us like 5 levels and we can get through that with no problem. Granted, I have to find the Baron key first, but at least we know that first boss is not going to be one that's going to be painful. The Leviathan at the start, we find Iridia early, that could come into play. Otherwise, that's just going to be a nice chunk of gold at some point we can sell.
Absolutely. With the newest update, Leviathan is a lower tier item, so you can find it in gated shops, and has increased Rydia's utility.
Both runners making the same move, going to Castle Eblin to start their checks. Again, with the 3 trap chests in this castle, does mean that the items and the loot in here is weighted a little bit heavier, so a little bit better items to be found, at least most of the time.
Well, that crystal shield is money.
Saw a Thunderclaw, that's always a good pickup. And both runners finding a monster chest and resetting already.
I would suspect both of our runners would probably like to see something to get this cane online, a blizzard spear, casual defense sword. Those are always great.
Assassin Dagger is probably not what you're looking for, but that's at least decent to start with. If we can find one of the freebie bosses, Baron Guards, Kaipo Guards, the Dark Imps, those can be made very, very free without Assassin Dagger.
But all things considered, not the dream so far in looting. Nothing that's really gonna just open the seed right up.
Yeah, it's pretty telling of a castle when the Thunderclaw and the Crystal Shield are the 2 best things you really got out of this. Okay, I take that back. There's a Sorcerer Robe. That's not too shabby.
Yep, a nice Sorc robe. Definitely will help keep Porum alive a little bit longer. And if we can find a black mage to slap that on, helps them go burr a little bit better.
Yeah, Sorc Robe is the 2nd best piece of defensive armor for our mages. The first best being the black and white shirt, respectively, for our black and white mages. But it also has the added benefit that if you want to, Cecil can equip it. And there have been many times where I've gone into Zeromus with a Sorcerer Robe equipped Cecil because magic defense is wonderful.
But it is looking like this Castle Eblin is going to be a bust for both of our runners. I think they've both checked just about everything and haven't found anything great other than that Sorc robe.
Yeah, you see Xenocat going ahead and saying, okay, I'm done. I'm going to go ahead and move on. Harumph doing the same thing, is not even going to go check the bottom 3 chests, says, you know what, I'll take everything else. We still had 1 outstanding monster chest, if I'm not mistaken, so we know one of those 3 in that very bottom basement was bad. Xenocat going to the back side of the Watery Pass is going to leave these 4 chests real fast and see where Harumph decides to go.
Harumph is going to give us our first look at the character on Hobbs. I'd love to see Iridia here. Get a couple of levels on that Iridia, and that Leviathan will take care of most of the overworld itself.
Xenocat looted the back, nothing much there. It's going to lead the front a little bit. So interesting play, a little bit of divergence already here. Then there's that heroine robe you were talking about early on.
Ew. It looks like...
It just came to Valvalis staring each other down. Nothing to see here.
Yeah, that's just, Cain fighting his demon.
Every time Harumph decides to go straight into Antlion Cave. That was a dragon whip, if I'm not mistaken. So now that Iridia would be coming very handy. Meantime, Xenocat has found another Sorcerer Robe and a Rune Ring, as well as a Heroine Robe. So not going to be hurting for defensive gear for mage casters.
Let Porum hit things.
Harumph finds a Mylon of some sort down here in Antlion. It is Mylon Z. In the meantime, Xenocat is going to be checking up in Kaipo. It's going to show us who is in the bed today. It looks to be a Edge. So if we can find an early Sand Ruby, that'll be a thing of beauty.
Absolutely. Edge is a great pickup. Starts at level 25. and does some pretty good work. Now, if you don't find that sand ruby till you're on the moon, and then he's not worth it, but Xenocat did find some cabins. There's nothing worse than having no camping gear when you start doing your lunar checks.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if Harumph even goes and checks Kaipo, because if he does not, that could be a huge pickup for Xenocat at this point. The fact that cabins are there, those could save you in a pinch, and if you don't find them, you're hurting sometimes. So we'll see if Harumph goes there. Did find the Baron key down in Antlion, so again, we know that DKC is there. One or two more battles would get us into shape to take on that DKC with no problem. Interesting to see if Harumph decides to make an early Baron play.
Probably wants a couple more things, something to make Kane a little bit better, probably, and maybe another character. Doing just a Porum and a Kane gets a little scary.
Xenocat ran all the way down. Is actually looting in the Village Mist and checked the weapon shop and the item shop or armor shop there as well. It's not a play I've seen done very often, but it is interesting to see.
Some runners really like to do all of their looting at the front of the seed, and then at the end are just like, nope, I don't need nothing else. I have picked up everything I could possibly want.
Well, Xenocat did get rewarded. They found a curse ring in the item shop there in Mist. So again, big thing if Harumph does not check it, does not find one naturally. In the meantime, Harumph is going to go and loot up in Damcyan in the bed treasury. Did find something to help Kane go bird. That was a Blizzard Spear in one of those chests.
And on Xenocat's side, that was a demist in the waterfall, which is surprisingly very nasty.
Yeah, it's great knowledge to know she's there right now, but that is not something you can take on at this point. She is super fast. You will be barely getting one attack off per miss phase, and it's better off just to wait and see if we can get some more power before we go in there.
Now, part of me is hoping that demist holds the key to the underground, and we don't find any more characters up here on the blue planet.
Yeah, we have yet to see who is in the Baron Inn, so that could still be a dupe. And then they said we'll get the Baron key from Antlion, but Baron itself could be a absolute bust character-wise, could be another dupe. So we could see a two-person demist fight in that waterfall, which would be absolutely hilarious.
And it's not even two great characters for that demist fight.
No, it is not. It is not who you'd really want to see in that. In the meantime, Xenocat is going to go ahead and set up his characters. He's going to find out the bad news on Hobbs. Harumph is going to defend Fabul. And hey, you know that Blizzard Spear we picked up? It's about to do work.
Leg. This is leg.
We have Blizzard Spear Kane and Ice Arrows Porum. Leg is not going to be long for our screens, unfortunately.
I would have figured that jump would have done a little more damage.
True. I know we're low level, but yeah, that seemed to be a very, very small damage set.
Let's see if Kane can do a little bit more damage this time.
There we go, 890. That's enough to take care of the Rubicante. Leg goes bye-bye, at least for now. We'll see you at least once more to seed. Let's see what some Dark Knight of old left behind in Fabul. Okay, Dark Knights need to stop dropping their hall passes.
Well, the Dark Knight just wanted you to be able to get into the Cafe Howdy Club.
Yeah, I'm sure runners will be happy to see the pass, but not necessarily so happy to see it this early. The pass does, in Free Enterprise Randomizer, instead of it giving you a backstage pass to a very fun dancing show in Cafe, it gives you a shortcut to Zeromus. So when the time comes, we can just head on over to Troya, to use the pass to cut to the back door to Zeromus and not have to worry about walking the lunar subterranean. Wonderful to see, not necessarily wanting it right now.
No, I would assume our runners would like to see a way underground. That would probably be nice.
Xenocat, taking that Baron key, went straight into Baron, checked the weapon and armor shops, light sword and strength rings. We find a Cecil, that light sword is going to be a wonderful thing if we got the money to pick it up.
And I don't think either one of our runners has checked that Baron N character to see if it is a dupe or if we've got somebody new to bring to this party.
That's correct. I did not see Xenocat jump into the inn at all. All they did was check the weapon armor and then dip right back out.
Xenocat might be looking for just a little bit more in terms of items, maybe some life pots, Cure 2s, Cure 3s, something to kind of push this party to something a little bit better.
In the meantime, Harumph, having done Fabul, has decided to climb Mount Ordeals and finds a wayward octopus sitting at the top. How'd you get up here?
Octopuses are smart. They just crawl out of their cage and start wandering around, sometimes throwing shrimp.
In the meantime, Xenocat making the cheeky Kokobo Forest check, picked up an Earth Hammer. We find a Sid. That is a huge pickup.
But looks like Xenocat is going to give this Baron N a check. Power Staff Heron Robe, nothing to sneeze at.
And remember that Sid I was just talking about?
Hi, we would like you in our party. That would be wonderful.
Especially early game, because that Earth Hammer is going to be so clutch. Not only is it great attack power for Sid, using it as an item also casts a Quake against everybody that's outside. So definitely useful right off the bat.
And Xenocat taking advantage of a little bit of game knowledge, knowing that Blizzard Spirit will cast a Ice 2.
Yeah, but in the meantime, we find Pale Dim in the second spot here. Not necessarily a really tough fight. Problem is, Pale Dim also is pretty darn good against all elemental types, so that Blizzard Spirit would not have been doing any damage whatsoever. Switching it up to the Dancing Dagger, trying to use it to help out, but this might not be something we can do quite yet.
Yeah, Pale Dim's going to hit a little bit hard in this spot. Even with that Heroine Robe equipped, still doing quite a bit to that Porum.
Yeah, there's definitely a way through this. It's just going to be a little difficult to do.
And we have Dark Elf on the back attack spot in Ordeals. Dark Elf is rude.
Yeah, Dark Elf weaked the Cane, turned Porum into a pig, and Harumph said, okay, we need to try this again. That did not go very well. Same with Xenocat. Unfortunately, they did take a wipe to that Pale Dim, but does have a Dragoon hat in their inventory. That's going to help immensely for that Pale Dim fight.
And Xenocat did go back and pick that Grimoire back up. Might want that Grimoire to try and roll a Leviathan. Not even a Leviathan. Can Bahamut come for the Grimoire?
Yes, Bahamut can absolutely come through the Grimoire. That would be an absolutely beautiful thing to see.
Yeah, because unfortunately, any of the lower tier summons are going to hit that resistance to all elements that Pale Dim has.
And our restreamer Ascarian pointing out that the Grimoire does not count as a summon. It counts as a magic attack in this Pale Dim, so you don't have to worry about that Quake counter if you do that.
And it is the battle of the slows here with Pale Dim and Porum.
Meantime, Harumph still working on this for a second time, has got to the meat change. We now have a very angry white dragon. Takes out the Porum immediately, but Kane's just going to keep jumping. Should be able to get through this with no problem.
I also really like that we have both dragon sprites on the screen facing each other. That's nice. I like the aesthetics of that.
They're staring at each other longingly, wishing they could come together and defeat these parties. There we go. Harumph gets through the Dark Elf. It's going to be our first runner to show us who is in the room inside Ordeals today. What trials awaits our Porum?
There can be some pretty nasty things hiding in this this crystal room up here. And Porum does have to face this alone, as this is Sea Hero.
On the bright side, at least we know it's not Valvalis, so... The Xenocat does get through their fight with the Pale Dim, is going to pick up their Sid and their Hook. We might have a Hook seed.
That's kind of gross. I love it.
And on the rope side, Kane steps back and says, "Go on, pig, do all the work." I love how the reflection is still Porum's actual thing, even though she's unfortunately whispered at the moment.
And that is a required Ordeals, as that is our Pan.
That's a double required Ordeals. That is a Wyvern.
Super ultra required.
Count. I love it.
This is so rude, especially in this spot.
Like, Plague is one of the worst enemies to find here in Sea Hero, because that count, you see how quickly it's going. But Wyvern using it is a double whammy, because not only do you have that count, but that Wyvern's eventually going to start nuking you. And I don't know if we've got the power to do this yet.
I wonder if Xenocat found, or if Harumph found any J items that would help get through this. A vampire, anything?
Not sure. Xenocat is going to have a much better time of it with that heroin robe they have on their Rosa. Or not Rosa, Porum. That'll help immensely. Harumph's going to give this a second try, and Xenocat is making the Baron play.
Makes a lot of sense. That Sid should have no problems getting through Dark Knight Cecil. Sid comes with lots of health.
Yep, Sid has the HP plus build at the start and has 800 hit points compared to everybody else's 100 and 200.
And Harumph did turn down his battle speed, hoping that he can get enough damage out of this Porum. I don't know that it's enough, though.
Needed one more good hit, and they would have got through it, but just not quite fast enough.
And since Harumph did not do the front part of Watery Pass, it does not have that heroine robe that makes Porum go burr.
And Harumph's going to give it one more try. So let's see if he can get through this time. In the meantime, Xenocat, through their fight with DKC, is about to show us who the real King of Baron is today.
And our restreamer Ascorian pointing out that we could use a Star Veil here that would at least get rid of the count.
Well, we're going to have simultaneous counts on our screen from two different enemies.
Womp, 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 womp.
Xenocat running into play against a real King of Baron. That's going to be a pretty darn free fight at this point. I don't foresee Xenocat having any problems with this fight. The problem I would see with Harumph and trying to use a Star Veil is that you need to have Zerk cast on Porum if you're going to be able to do enough damage before the nuke comes out of Wyvern. And if you use the Star Veil, you're not going to be able to get that Zerk off.
And looks like Harumph is going to leave that for now and come back later with maybe a few more levels and a little bit better gear for that Porum.
Meantime, Xenocat did unfortunately take a wipe to that plague. It's going to have to run back up, try it again. Had tried to have Sid take himself out to be able to life him back up and restart the count. Unfortunately, Sid didn't quite have the damage to be able to do so. So, took the unfortunate wipe.
Sid's got a lot of health.
Harumph now picking up that Grimoire. Be interested to see if he decides to make another run up Ordeals here in a minute with that Grimoire and say, oh, look, this might give me the edge I need to get through this.
And you might be right, because Harumph is immediately leaving and heading somewhere. Yes, back to Ordeals. I don't know how the map works.
Harumph saw that Grimoire, went straight to Ordeals and said, you know what? We're going to save, we're going to try this again, and we're going to hope we don't see Chocobo.
And we did manage to keep that cane alive, so got a little bit more XP on that cane. And of course, Porum, being our hero, gets XP whether or not she is standing at the end of the battle.
Though I don't understand why Xenocat is healing here. I would have actually left that Porum down going into the plague fight for the sole purpose of being able to reset the count. But Xenocat might have another option in mind. I did notice Xenocat put a cursed ring on their Porum, so might be looking to try to do Berserk strats if he can get, or if they can get the Zerks off. Or Kamikaze works too.
Chocobo is hashtag not the dream.
I feel like that was a commentator's curse on my end, wasn't it?
It really was. So rude.
I will have to make sure I apologize to Harumph when we have a post-game interview, if he chooses to have one.
But I feel like we are in much better shape here with this plague fight. Sid is able to take himself out, and then we bring him back.
Yeah, using that Kamikaze at the very beginning definitely lowered Sid's HP enough where one Earth Hammer hit was enough. By the way, there's our Leviathan. Wyvern is down. That's going to be objective 1 for Harumph, as well as the keys for objective number 4 once we get underground.
We'll see if Harumph decides to do Baron N first or just go straight into Baron itself.
Harumph's got the knowledge that it is a Sid there, because he did walk in there when he picked up the grimoire. So it depends on how he feels. If he feels like he wants that third character, wants that Sid, probably see him go Baron in first. In the meantime, Xenocat has gotten through their fight with Plague, is about to show us who the character and what's in the Baron pot today.
And that is a Rydia. We do have that Leviathan summon. Could go ahead and get her some levels and use her maybe for this hook route.
Yeah, it is still early enough game that getting rid of some levels and that Leviathan spell can push you through that hook route more than likely, depending on what it is exactly that's down there. Could all be for naught, though, if this ends up being a magma key and that hook could be just bait. In the meantime, Harumph saving right outside of Baron Town is going straight back to the inn, so looks like going to try to pick up his Sid right away.
That's a Darkness Crystal.
That changes things a little bit. Xenocat's going to save. They're going to check, see what's down in the basement. If it's King Queen Evelyn, then this is going to be one heck of a race, because that basically means that we're in no mode up here in the booth.
Absolutely. Getting Darkness Crystal early is always a scary prospect, because you think, okay, do I Fade Moon and do all my Earth checks, or do I try and go up to the moon, find some free bosses, and get some easy XP?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the play here is. I don't know if I'd want to go up there and just check the character first, see who's there. Especially if it ends up being Atella. Because if it ends up being Atella, then you pretty much know, okay, let's go ahead, do my grind here now, then take on Cave Bahamut, and then dive this hook route. But if it's not, if it's somebody else, there's still plenty of options out there with, again, that Demus down there in the waterfall. You have the hook route still to go and whatever's down below. I don't think anyone's checked to see what's actually in Mist Cave itself, have they?
I don't remember seeing a Mist Cave check, but I could be mistaken.
In the meantime, Harumph is going to go attempt to take on this Demus.
I think this still might be a little bit out of Harumph's grasp. This Demus is very, very fast.
Yeah, that would take a lot of time. I think that's what Harumph just realized as well. Definitely actually getting some attacks off this time, but still, you're only getting about 200 to 300 damage, if that, per hit, or per round, and it's going to take some time on this.
And Xenocat heading straight to the moon, probably wants to check in, see if there is a fifth character. Atella would be great. A Cecil. Yeah, just something that can go burr. And we'll see if we get a Bahamut, or Bahamut cave check.
Yeah, I think worst case scenario for our runners would be a King Queen Evelyn at Cave Bahamut, because that would be another double, and pretty much we know we're in go mode immediately, and that's kind of best case scenario. I think would be something else free, such as, again, Baron guards, Kaipo guards, something that you can try to find in Hourglass, or even that Assassin Dagger we found earlier in Castle Evelyn to come into play.
And we did only see a duplicate Rydia there up on the moon, so Xenocat's still only rocking 4 characters. Does have that hook, though. and we'll see. They have not gone down the hook route to see if maybe there's a nice character down there, an Edge, a Tella, anything but Edward. But Harumph is kind of just going slow and steady here with this D-Mist. Getting slows off, having Kane jump.
And gets through. So what's the best thing we could see from this D-Mist? Are you thinking a Magma Key would be huge right here?
Yeah, definitely a Magma Key would be very big here, not having to go down that hook route. Even an Earth Crystal, it's early enough that we could see a Treasury check that could do some good work.
Sand Ruby would be nice as well, because we know that's an Edge. Or it could just be a Spoon, and we don't have an Edward.
Yeah, Spoon is better than a Womp, but it's pretty close to a Womp.
It's another key item on our way to 10. But Harumph finding the Cursed Ring here in Mist, so that's one advantage that Xenocat unfortunately is not going to have. They are both going to have one of those.
But Xenocat has gotten through that octopus. Probably going to have a lot easier time just in general on this mountain, having some more levels on Porum and having that heroine robe.
Yeah, we see here Harumph kind of backtracking the steps that Xenocat has already done. Xenocat doing the same thing to Harumph's checks. So while we have a little bit of break here as we walk over each other, I do want to shout out our behind-the-scenes team. Ascarian is doing the restream and Warlink doing the tracking for us today.
And definitely want to shout out my co-commentator Gambit. It has been a hot minute since I think we've done comms together.
Yes, it has. My wonderful co-commentator Alicil. It has been a while, and it's good to be back. Xenocat finding the Dark Elf on the backside of Hobbs here. Probably going to have a lot easier time with this than Harumph did with the 4 characters, as opposed to when Harumph only had 2. It's going to be interesting to see, though, who decides to make the dive down the hook first. In the meantime, though, Harumph still needs to actually complete Varian. I completely forgot. He took a wipe there. Does not have the Sid yet. Does not have that hook.
Yep, Harumph is still rocking those 2 characters, which you definitely want a little bit more.
Yeah, Xenocat's going to be able to catch up just a little bit time-wise with the checks they are making. But it's going to be interesting to see. This is going to be the real test, is how do they do with this Wyvern here in the Crystal Room?
Looks like Harumph is going to give this Sid another try, take out this Baron in. With that heroine robe and just some more stat gear for that Porum, should have a little bit easier time.
Also, wouldn't be surprised if Xenocat feels like they are very behind once they see this Wyvern too. Pan plus Wyvern equals the twofer. Might think, oh my gosh, if my opponent went here first, if they got through that Baron in before I did while I was doing my looting, they could already be on the ground, and could make them feel a little rushed and behind.
Come on, Porum, you're going to have to do a... There you go.
Yeah, I think Xenocat's going to have this one. That Berserk coming out immediately. Oh yeah, 500 damage. No worries about the count.
Porum Angie.
Y'all have seen Rosa go burr. Now I present Porum go burr. But yeah, as our restreamer points out in chat, that heroine robe made all the difference in the world. Even with the great bow not being so great, or as I like to call it, the not so great bow, push out enough damage to get through. And Xenocat now has a choice. Do I want to go back up to that moon? Do I want to dive that hook route? Because I think they've done... Oh no, they haven't done some bull yet, but everything else they've done.
Honestly, with that pan in hand, I'd take a look at the hook route, see if it's doable, and then you only have to single dip for bull. But I'm also not very good at this game.
I'm just waiting to see if we have the one and only Rivers McCown in chat, so we can actually have a Rivers McCown special, the single dip for bull. But it looks like Xenocat's not going to leave anything to chance, is going to take on this for bull. I do not blame them here. Anytime you leave open checks on the overworld in the hook route, odds are it's going to be the magma key, so you definitely come take this check.
Absolutely. You do not want to dive a hook route when your opponent has found an easy magma key.
Xenocat sees the Rubicante. Hello once again, Leg. It is good to see you again. Unfortunately, you are not going to be long for our screens. Interesting sell on Harumph's side. Sold the middle sword. I don't believe he ever went over to the Kaipo bed to check to see who was in said bed.
And typically, middle isn't that big of a increase from small, so I can see why. Just wanting to make sure I don't want to have to come back or not have the camping gear that I need.
Very true. Yeah, you definitely want to pick up the cabins while you're there. But yeah, Harumph's going to make that Baron castle play. Is probably going to be very, very happy with the Darkness Crystal and the extra character in that Rydia. Meantime, Xenocat, I believe they are going to check Miss Cave, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them go back and go ahead and take out that D-Mist as well. Well, that's not something you want to see here.
I mean, you certainly don't want to see it somewhere else, though.
Very true. Mom has a wonderful fun thing in her script. It doesn't matter where she is, well, except for on Hobbit, I believe. She gets an extra 7,000 hit points added to her pool. Once you clear those 7,000 hit points, she hits her Explodey phase. When you're at a spot that only has about 1,000 hit points, maybe less, I think actually there's only 400 there. No, you don't want to deal with the extra hit points. No.
We'll see if this Leviathan goes off before we hit a mist phase.
The answer to that is no. Meantime, for Harumph, he is learning that justice is not the only right in this world. One day he may see, and we'll be through this DKC.
And hopefully has an easier time with that plague and doesn't have to worry about taking a wipe.
In the meantime, Demus too fast for Xenocat. They had to take a wipe. This time I'm going to slow right off the bat with Porum. I like this play. Basically the same thing Harumph did, try to slow this fight down, try to keep Demus in her dragon form a little bit longer.
Yep, and probably going to wait here on this Rydia until after this mist phase and get that Leviathan off.
Yep, just going to try to time it. Go to the cast now, a little bit too early. Yeah, it's a hard thing to time, especially in this location. It's almost better to wait till the pop-up comes up saying attack now and then do it, but even still, it's rough to time.
And unfortunately, that Rydia does not have enough MP to cast it a second time.
Yep, so we're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. And does. Ooh, that's a problem.
Oof.
Harumph ran out of arrows and was ended up punching. Thankfully, did take the safety save inside the Baron Sewers, so not as long as a walk to get back to that. But with the knowledge this time of that plague there, wouldn't be surprised to see him leave Porum down after the DKC fight.
Absolutely. That way you don't have to worry about, you can quickly reset that count rather than try and kill off your Kain or your Sid, who have a little bit more oomph to their defense.
Yep. Meantime, Xenocat has their spoon. That's key item number 5, halfway to 10, and is out of options. It's hook route or moon. It looks like they are deciding to dive the hook route, see what's down here.
Now, what would be the worst thing here guarding the underground?
Baigen into Kanazo.
Yeah, that's pretty gross.
That's not a bad weapon shop there. Silent Staff is great for that Porum, at least right now. Dragon Whip, same thing for that Rydia.
Might not have enough money to get either one, though.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Xeno. Ooh, Elven Mode, that's nice. See Xenocat loot a little bit on the way up, and then once we get to the character, loot back down, trying to pick up enough stuff to sell off to maybe pick up some things in that shop.
And looks like, well, that's a Kain.
That's a Kain, but that is a free boss. It's either Baron Guards or Kaipo Guards in the Rubicante spot, so that is absolutely free. Just got to get through the King Queen spot itself to get to it.
And we'll see what's guarding that King Queen location. Something gross like an Ogopogo would be pretty nasty, but with that Kain and that Sid, can probably get through pretty quick.
In the meantime, harumph just having a heck of a time with this plague on the Baron throne. It has to take another wipe to it. It's going to go right back in. Try it one more time. Meantime, Xenocat saying, all right, let's get on the ground. They are going to go for a dive.
They might feel a little bit behind just due to those handful of wipes and that double on Mount Ordeals.
I think that I would agree with that assessment. The fact that they are not doing any looting on the way down, I would have at least liked to try to pick up the Mad Ogre chest. You picked up that Elven bow from that first chest in Cave Eplin. Put that on that Porum with the Heroine robe and Charm arrows, and those Mad Ogres would not stand a chance. But yeah, no, running straight down to the cabin up here, probably going straight to see who's in the King Queen spot.
Wouldn't it be something if it was vanilla King Queen?
I think if it was vanilla King Queen, Xenocat is going to feel even farther behind. Even though we in the booth know that they are currently well in the lead with the trouble that Harumph's been having with the Wyvern Ordeals and the Plague here in Baron.
And Xenocat does turn down their battle speed just a little bit. That's free. That's all the guards.
Kypho guards into Baron guards on the hook route. This is as free can be down here. The board AI, knowing exactly who to hit, takes out that Rydia before she can cast Leviathan.
Rude.
The one big thing I would want to know is, does our Porum have life? Or not life, mute yet? As long as she has mute, again, the Baron guards behind this will be free. That's not what you want to see out of the Grimoire.
And our Porum does have mute. It was the first spell she learned, so hopefully. Yo, leave the children alone.
I think one Quake from the Earthhammer from Sid would be enough to take out the three small guards. But no, we're going to switch over to the Medusa arrows. We're going to go. Nope, we're going to just reset.
But Harumph has gotten through that plague. GG, gonna pick up his Rydia and Darkness Crystal.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Harumph go straight to the moon, then be very mad when they find that second Rydia. But I don't think Xenocat actually checked Cape Bahamut, did they?
They did not, so we still don't know what's guarding that Cave Bahamut spot.
So if Harumph went up there and that Cape Bahamut was King Queen Eblin, then, you know, Harumph would probably feel a little bit better about all these wipes that he's taken, but at the same point, both our runners are probably feeling very, very far behind for considering where we are in the seed. And ooh, does not get the 50-50 on the Odin.
I swear that 50-50 sure don't feel like it.
Yeah, I think it's closer to like 90-10, and even at 10 it seems like it's a little high. There we go. He's going to queue up the Leviathan this time. I think that's the better play, because that'll kill the 3 soldiers no matter what. And being the fact that you don't get experience from this fight anyway, the officer doesn't matter.
And Xenocat does get that Leviathan off, and is enough to take out the 3 soldiers.
So Xenocat is through this fight. They're about to come across the Baron guards here. Now is when you decide, okay, how do I want to play this? You've used the Odin on Rydia. Do you go for the Swag Odin? Do you hope that it hits? Do you go ahead and mute off the bat? Going right into it too, not taking the safety save. I love it. And gets the Odin.
That is so nice.
No save, Swag Odin cast for the win. Xenocat at 52 minutes 25 seconds, the first of our runners to get into the underground. With that pan in hand, I believe we are probably heading straight to the Sylph Cave.
I would definitely think so. That's an antlion at the top of tower, but get your freebies done and then kind of take stock and see where you think the best place to try and find your king queen or your forge.
And what's the old adage? Check your freebies, check your objectives. That's both a freebie and an objective, so check them both. Meantime, antlion at the top of tower is not bad. Oh, please be Gauntlet. Please be Gauntlet.
I mean, if it's not Gauntlet, that water hag is going to be very angry. He's going to hit real hard.
Yes, he is, but depending on who he hits, we should be able to get 3 attacks off in time. Job Dwarf is a camp director. Xenocat showing that off for us. Thank you so much. And Water Hag hits the perfect target, taking out the Porum, because Porum's going to get levels anyway, because she's our hero. Three hits. Water Hag is down. Rydia is going to gain a ton of levels, 19 of them to be exact. It's going to be great for harumph, and also it's going to complete objective number 2 on his side. So harumph had the objective lead 2-1. I still feel Xenocat probably in the lead overall at the current moment, just being the fact that we are underground, and that feels like a slap in the face to me.
You've had 1 dagger, yes, but what about second assassin dagger?
And Fate March being the trolliest to trolls, it's a magma key. Are you kidding me?
And we are in no mode at this point here in the booth.
And it will probably not be more than 10 minutes before Xenocat themselves are in go mode. I foresee them taking on this King Queen, winning this battle rather handily, then going and smacking Yang with the pan, turning to get that objective, and then going straight up to the moon, checking the K Bahamut, seeing the Water Hag, and bada bing, bada boom, we have a crystal.
But that brings up the next question. How the heck do you grind?
That is the question. The bigger question right now is, do we just go at 3? Or not 3, 4 characters, or do we hunt for a 5th?
Oh no, but harumph looks like going to face check this moon.
Given the situation he is in, and the fact that he probably feels behind with all those wipes that he took, and having so few characters for so long, probably feels behind, probably in a desperation move, says, let's see if there's anything free down here that I can take on. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure we've seen the bulk of our freeness on the overworld and in that hook route. Yep, there's objective number 5 for Xenocat, and a crystal ring to boot. That is not a bad piece of equipment to get there.
Yep, slap that on that Porum, and you're in pretty good shape. But I would suspect Xenocat going to immediately do that pan check and then head back up to the moon.
That would play. Again, I'm going to be curious once we take on that water hag, once we are officially in go mode on Xenocat's side. Do they do Dwarf Castle looking for that character? Do we do Zot if we find an Earth Crystal from one of the Sheila checks? Do we continue hunting key items to find another key item to try to get us another character? Or do we just say, okay, these are our 4, let's go with this, especially if we end up with something like a Zeus Gauntlet or something that we can do like Mac Giants or a Luca Key to do doors, something like that. Or, a Moonveil could be helpful in a grind situation. Well, that's our last freebie, I believe, down here in the ribbon room.
Yep. Bahamut go blarg.
Here's the problem, though. This is a very, very high HP spot. And we have, I believe we had 3 total Starveils to our name right now. I don't know if we can get through this here.
Yeah, this is going to be rough.
Meantime, Xenocat is going to turn into 2 pan checks. Let's see what we get here. There's Earth Crystal from Sheila 1 and a Legend Sword from Sheila 2. That makes things interesting here.
I would definitely go up Zot. With Iridia and a Porum that you want to get to levels where they are useful, you've got to have a 5th character. And if you happen to find, say, the Adamant from Zot, well, you don't have to worry about going to Cave Bahamut.
That's the key, and that's what I think Xenocat is probably thinking as well. As they switch airships, looks like they're heading straight to Zot. Biggest question is, are we going to rate that treasury? And so far, things are working out pretty well here for Harumph. Veils have not fallen off yet. Looking like they're working on jump strats with Kane. Rydia probably going to go down here, but that's not a problem. And that's it. Porum and Kane get the 100,000 XP, but we are through the ribbon room. That's going to be 2 checks here for Harumph.
And no key items there.
Now, those are not too bad of items, just not what you want to see. Let's see what Xenocat finds down here in the treasury.
Well, right now we're at too much stuff in my inventory out of 10.
That treasury is a stuff for people I don't have out of 10.
With bonus ethers.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing there was a couple hourglasses and an ether 2. That was pretty much it. That was a decent treasury for a different party. Did get a Soma drop though, so maybe Xenocat will indulge us with the memes of giving Kane MP. Meantime, looks like Harumph is going to go check the Crystal Sword altar.
Yep, might still be just looking for free bosses, not knowing that everything is on the way down to the underground.
You see, Crystal Sword spot is a Leviathan. That might be doable here for Harumph, but I don't think it is. In the meantime, we've got Dr. Dialogue over on Xenocat's side. Yeah, I think chat has it about right. This Leviathan for Harumph is free, just long. The low magic power here means that those Ice 2s are not going to be doing too much damage. You see about 200 a pop. And then again, we've got the waves that come out and take a quarter of your HP each time. As long as you healed up between each wave, you're fine. Just going to take a while. Meantime, Xenocat dealing with Dr. Luge, they are not going to have any difficulty whatsoever here. This fight is relatively easy and in this spot relatively free.
And that Dr. Luge is down. And we'll see if Xenocat gets any characters.
Well, first character is a bust. That is yet another Rydia. That's 3 Rydias, 3 Canes so far this seed. And another Sid, so no help on the character front from Zot.
At that point, do you dive Dwarf Castle or do you just grind and go with 4?
I think still looking for an Adamant Rock. You would do Dwarf Castle. If this is the Adamant here, though, I think you grind for 4. And you say, you know what, this is it. We're in go mode. Let's do this. Here's the big thing, though. Xenocat 100% wants this to be a key item. If this is a key item, that'll give them, once they get the crystal, 10 key items. So if it's not a key item, if they go up to the moon, Duque Bahamut, which we know is that water hag, they will be at 9 key items with the crystal, one short of that double HP.
And Harumph is still taking out this Leviathan, manages to get the final hit, get some more XP on his party, and we'll see what key item it is.
I mean, I don't hate it. So yeah, absolutely positively do not hate seeing a Stardust Rod. Not probably what we wanted, but definitely don't hate it.
Now this moon is kind of turning out to be haunted.
I would agree so far. I did not see what Xenocat ended up getting from Zot. I know it wasn't a key item because I don't see anything lit up. All right, tracker whirling to let me know it was a black shirt.
Well, a nice item for Rydia. We are really wanting to get a 10th key item.
Xenocat is going to take on Dwarf Castle here. We've got Odin in the first spot, which is a little bit rude. We can start the party up, though. We should be able to get through this with no problem. But if he gets that Zanzukin off, we could have trouble. In the meantime, Harumph is going to go check the Pale Dim altar and discover
I believe they call that the opposite of free.
I mean, Leviathan at the Crystal Sword, he found his older, wiser, more nopier brother, Ogopogo, at the Pale Dim altar. And Harumph says, heck this moon, I'm coming back to Earth. Meantime, Xenocat making short work of that Odin. That was a very, very quick fight. Into the dolls fight in the second spot. That is French Vanilla, but the big question is, do we get a character? We do. That's a Quack Kid.
So at this point, I guess our biggest bet is Mac Giants.
Either that or grind moon bosses. If this Dwarf Castle pays out with some kind of key item, again, doing that Water Hag and Cave Value will give us 10 key items with that crystal. And again, get the double XP from the Ribbon Room, whatever's at the Ogo spot. That's 200 and 300,000 experience right there. That could be a grind.
Now, Xenocat taking some time to take down that Porum, or that Palom and that Rydia, looking to get probably slingshots on both of them, take them all the way to nuke.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice. I wonder what their play is here. If they might be thinking Mac Giants at this point. Have just had the rest of the party on the ground, have only Kane and Sid up, taking on Mac Giants and raise everybody at the end of the fight.
That would be the way to go. Because this party is probably going to be reflect strats, to be honest. We haven't found anything really phenomenal with that Kane, so probably wants to get both kids to nuke and maybe pour them to white.
Now, there's a tower key. That's a key item, so that's at least something. Be interesting to see if Xenocat decides to run and check that, maybe even take the antline at the top of the tower, still looking for that adamant, or decides, nope, enough is enough, let's go check K value.
Looks like is going to... Xenocat is confused.
We have one Siren in our inventory. We're going to pop it for an egg here. Just while we're trying to figure out exactly what we want to do, let's just pick an egg real fast.
This definitely makes sense. May not be high enough levels on the other three characters to get a slingshot on that Rydia and that Palom, so might just want a little bit more XP before taking on Mac Giants.
Yeah, that could be the case, thinking one of the characters is too low, Rydia is too high at this point. Yeah, Kane was only level 31 there, so if he set the level to level 32, that gives him 5 above Rydia. That's the median threshold, so Rydia now should be in slingshot range.
And Harumph starting to get the news that this hook route is pretty free.
Yep, saw the cane, saw the guards, is diving straight down. With the extra levels he has from the couple moon fights he took, I don't see either of these fights being any type of issue for him. It's just going to be how quickly does he go check the Fame March for that King Queen Eblin and go mode. Xenocat heading straight to Value Cave is going to go check and see who's here. See that water hag probably be kicking themselves, thinking I probably should have taken this earlier. And then I imagine we'll see them heading straight up to the giant, do Mac Giants, and get ready for go mode.
Probably having that feeling of, well, is it free or is it 8 million bosses?
Likes the idea of raising up Rydia and Palom as secondary targets here. You hope that you get a hit from the Water Hag onto one of those two characters.
And uses the Moon Veil. Very interesting.
Fight's completely free now, and I understand this. You want to make sure that Rydia and that Palom go back down before you finish off the Water Hag. And in putting the Moon Veil up, that guarantees that to happen. Because Porum is untouchable.
And Kane's just going to hang out, not do much.
Yeah, you're not so much worried about the levels on the Kane or the Sid at this point. If they went down, it's not going to kill you. The biggest thing was, again, preserving that slingshot for Rydia and Palom, and Xenocat did so superbly. That's objective number 2. That's 4 of the 5 objectives. That's a crystal and 10 key items. Grind and go time.
And that was super heads up by Xenocat, knowing that that would get you your 10th key item. And yeah, now it's time to grind.
In the meantime, harumph using frog strats on the Baron guards. I love seeing the Baron frogs. They're so cute. I kind of want to pet them.
And when you do cast Frog on these, it just completely trivializes this fight. All you got to do is just get the damage out.
Yep, I'm doing that just well with the Leviathans. You've got Kane and Sid hitting away. To answer a question in chat for the slingshot only affects the lower level characters. Basically what it is if you have any characters who are 5 levels below the median of the party, so whoever's like got the middle one, those characters would get a slingshot. They get double XP. Combine that with you have 10 key items, so you're getting a second set of double XP. We're looking at a very easy shot for Mac Giants. Probably looking about, I think 11 is what was listed in chat, is thinking what they need.
Yeah, I can barely do a D machine, let alone a Mac Giant. Mac Giant. But Xenocat doing the manipulation here on the Earth to ensure that they get the Searcher up in the Giant.
All right, I am consulting the chart now. So we're looking at what level is Aridia? She's 27 at the moment. So to get Rydia and Paladin to nuke with absolutely no extra XP, we would be looking at 30 Mac Giants for Rydia at level 27 and 30.8 at level 1 for, or level 10 for Paladin. So with the double XP, divide that by half, we would need 15. And with the slingshot, divide that by half again, we would need about 8, so 7.5. So 8 Max Giants gets us nuke on both Rydia and Palom. Porum, at the level she is right now, needs 26, so you divide that by 2, you need 13. I don't think we'll get to white on her. If we see Xenocat do a couple extra, maybe that's what they are going for, but probably just going for nuke on the Porum and Rydia.
That would definitely make sense. Just even with just the 2 kids with nuke, you can pretty quickly take down a Zeromus.
For those wondering which chart I'm looking at, one of our wonderful community members, Invenerable, created a D machine chart to tell you exactly how many D machines you needed for each spellcaster to get their final good spell. That guide, along with a bunch of other friendly guides and helpful things, is located on our Discord. You can hit ! Discord in chat. If you are not already a member, there's a big old newbies channel as well as a guides channel as well. Lots of good information if you want to start running this game for yourself. We welcome you on in. We're a very welcoming community, and always someone around willing to answer a question.
Absolutely. This is a wonderful community, very welcoming. No matter your skill level, we have people to help you out. You can ask questions. It's just a great place to be.
So Xenocat berserked their Rydia. I'm not quite sure what this is about.
And zerked the Porum. I am very confused.
I think we'll have to ask Xenocat about this once we get to the interview phase of this, if they choose as well to come in for an interview. In the meantime, harumph went straight to Dwarf Castle, wanting that 5th character, and picks up that Palom. Probably will be very, very happy to see him. And now picks up his tower key. Being the fact that harumph has not seen the Legend Sword yet, it'll be interesting to see if he decides to run and check that tower key.
Looks like yes.
Thought about going to Silk Cave for a second, went back and is going up the tower. It's going to probably take on both that Antlion and that tower key, the Super Cannon room, see what's there. He finds a adamant. It'll be nice because then he won't ever have to worry about the King Queen Eblin down in the Feymarch. However, you know, it's King Queen Eblin. It's free. I don't know why you'd ever want to not worry about the King Queen Eblin in the Feymarch.
But Xenocat is killing Mac Giants, doing Mac Giant things. I haven't been keeping count.
Neither have I. I've been focusing more on harumph's screen. That is Mylon and friends here in the cannon room. Little awkward because the XP is going to be split and you've got to do some kind of big AoE attack. Try to take them all down at once. But, you know, still easy peasy. No, Leviathan does a trick. He even gets the Oh My Body skip, and that was an easy enough tower key room.
Now, do you just do this, or do you also do top of tower?
Depends on how you feel. You know it's an antlion up top. I'd almost just do a Penguinator special here and just take the tower key and leave.
And that looks like what Harumph is doing.
Yeah, probably see 6 key items. I want to take a quick, this is an easy enough check. I can try to get a 7th here. Notice the crystal will be 8th. Would only need 2 more. Probably banking on something down the Fame March and at least 1 of the 2 pan checks to pan out. No pun intended.
And meanwhile, this Mac Giant fight, I don't know what Mac Giant fights usually look like, but this doesn't look great.
No, this fight has not gone the best for Xenocat. They are having a difficult time of it. I think those Zergs kind of hurt a little earlier in. Probably really need to take out that Mac Giant and then try to reset for a little bit. Though it looks like that Sid might still be Zerged, aren't they? No, they're not. Yeah, Sid's not Zerg. So probably want to take out that Mac Giant and then just try to reset here.
Meanwhile, Harumph is going to go ahead and do that pan check.
Yeah, picked up a rat tail from this super cannon room. That's a free turn in if Harumph wants it. And if it ends up being an adamant, saves Harumph the trip down into the Fey March.
But it looks like Xenocat is in a little bit better position, can start getting all those blinks out, and kind of reset.
Yeah, I think they were going a little bit too fast for what they needed, and things got out of hand a little bit. Blinks weren't enough blinks up. Mac Giant was doing board AI things, and at this point was able to stop, reset, get blinks up on the important characters, and turn it around and be able to get back to it. At this point, it's going to be interesting to see if Harumph finds the adamant from that rat tail. It's a matter of where do you want to grind, because we'll be back to square one. Harumph is about to pick up the Legend Sword. We know that Sheila 1 was something, Earth Crystal, and then Sheila 2 was the Legend Sword.
If I were Harumph, I would definitely be turning in that rat tail to see if it is the other half of Forge.
Yeah, rat tail also turn in right here. If it is a key item of some sort, that is going to be 10 key items for Harumph. You can just choose your grind right now before you even know where your last thing is. And again, Harumph has still not dove down into the Fey March, so does not know about the Magma Key there. Also does not know about the King Queen Eblin.
And gets a Luca key.
That opens up doors. And that might be something that Harumph is thinking about right now, going, okay, I'm at 10 key items. I've got access to doors. Do I go grind doors? Or better yet, do I dive the entirety of the Luca Cave, see what's down there? If it's my adamant, I fight it out and grind on my way out. If it's not, I wait and I come back up.
And is heading straight to Luca Cave. Hopefully Harumph hasn't forgotten about Cave of Summon Monsters and, forgot, hey, I didn't do this when I first came down.
It might be a situation where Harumph feels he is so far behind that if the Fame Arch was the answer, his opponent would be done. That's probably where my headspace would be in Harumph's shoes. So might be like, I'm going to have to fade this to the wind and see if it works out. But yeah, it's going to dive all the way in. I would not be surprised to see a save taken down at a save point. And just, that way you've got that save there. If it is something you need, you try to see if you can take on the boss. If it's not something you need, you reset and you just fight doors on your way back out.
That is totally fair. Meanwhile, we still have a Mac Giant grind going on here. I have zero idea how many Xenocat has done.
I know he's done some. I'm not sure exactly how many. They are working it though. They are getting through this. It seems to be pretty well in hand. So not worried in the least bit. Using the virus to help push some extra damage out. Sid doing some big damage with the hammer. No worries on that front. In the meantime, Harumph, moment of truth. What is down here in the sealed cave?
Oh my.
Alright, now we need to see who this boss is. If this is something that Harumph can get through first try, we've got a race on our hands. It's going to be the Mac Giants from Xenocat compared to Doors from Harumph. That's Ashura. That's not bad. And it's not good, but it's not bad. The only problem here is Porum does not have wall. You would need to burn 2 Star Veils. I don't think we have 2 Star Veils.
Yeah, I think Harumph used all his Star Veils on that Bahamut.
We could try to Lifelock her, but this is a really fast spot. She is getting turn after turn, so Lifelocking might not be something we can actually achieve here. Yeah, we had the Leviathan cast, already got the Cure 3 going off. I don't think we can damage race this. Yeah, there's another Cure 3. That's all the Leviathan damage already healed back up. But yeah, this is going to be interesting. We're going to try to switch rows here. I just don't think that we can damage race through this. I think that healing is a little bit too much, to the point where probably need to reset and retry this, or maybe go ahead and take a door or two to get to wall and then come back. That might be the play. As Leviathan's doing 3,000 damage, but each Cure 3 that Ashura casts is healing up 3,000 damage. So the Leviathan's kind of a wash at that point. Or you could just have a Cure 4 and she heals herself all the way back up and you're at ground zero again. And to answer your question in the chat, even with the slow on Ashura, this spot is so fast, I don't think we can lifelock. I think it's just a little bit too much. You're going to burn all your MP and it get healed back up. So yeah, definitely needing to go and do... Yeah, there's the reset from Harumph. In the meantime, Xenocat is through with their grind. That's a boatload of levels. That's going to be nuke for both the important people, possibly white on Porum. Yeah, Xenocat is in prime position to take care of business here. Looks like Polar was one level shy of white. Got to Cure 4, did not get to white, looks like. Not to worry about. I don't think Xenocat is going to worry that much about that. I think we see the giant land, the giant Flan de Troya, and a pass being used in our very near future. Xenocat doing one last check of our agility. We are going to put a crystal ring on. That should get our agility up to something we really want. Not going to be too bad. The big key in this race, though, is going to be that Xenocat was able to avoid the moon with the exception of the K Bahamut spot. Harumph made that moon dive looking for the King Queen Evelyn. Did not pay off for him, and that's probably going to be the difference is as long as Xenocat does not have an unfortunate wipe to Zeromus.
Yep, and it looks like we've got some flags here in chat. I think there's a question we usually start asking about this time.
Yep, I was trying to delay till you got back so we could ask it.
Would you like to do the honors, or would you like me?
I guess I could do the honors tonight. So, in the vanilla games, Zeromus is the big bad at the end of the game, and he's just too big and too bad. We can't really rotate him into the boss pool. It'll be a little bit too unfair. So what we do instead is we rotate his sprite around. With 500 and something odd sprites, I'm not sure the exact number, but I know it's like 530 something, I think. 526, 530, somewhere around that range. Zeromus can be a lot of different people. So we like to ask, whose butt are we going to kick tonight? And is it a cute butt?
And of course, does it have a butt? That's also very important.
I'm kind of hoping for the 1% chance of Sephiroth today.
All of the Sephiroth sprites are great. Our resident artist Skolakitty has made so many of these. There's so many that I haven't seen yet. There's ones that I just love. So let's see whose butt we're going to see.
And to answer your question, chat, Harumph did reset out of the Ashura, is going to try to find more supplies, probably going to go look for Star Bales to try to get to that Ashura. Unfortunately for him, not knowing that King Queen Evelyn is down there in the Feymarch as a freebie. But it might all be too little too late at this point because Xenocat is in their fight. We are about to see a crystal get thrown.
There's the crystal. Erg. And it's this jerk.
Quick, I need to get my NES light gun. I'll be right back.
This is Doggomus from Duck Hunt, who, if you didn't play Duck Hunt as a kid, is the biggest. He's just a butt, is the nicest way we can describe him.
Well, considering he's a butt we're going to kick, that's actually a good thing to describe him as. In the meantime, we see Xenocat has put the veil up on Kane, is bouncing nukes with Rydia, going to be bouncing nukes with Palom. I wouldn't be surprised to see Kane and Sid throw in a couple shots here early, at least until we get to a point where we are getting close to that tip point, and then we'll go just as pure reflect strats. For those who don't know what we're talking about, the Zeromus has more HP than the game can code. So there's a script in Zeromus's script that if he gets under, I want to say it's 20,000 HP, he refills his HP. So you can get around that by using reflected spells, because reflected spells don't count against it. So if you reflect enough damage before you get to the refill, you can kill him before he does the refill, which is exactly what Xenocat is trying to do with their fight right now.
And while Xenocat is taking out this fight, we see Harumph taking out some trapdoors.
Yeah, probably looking to get wall up on that Porum for that Ashura fight. Does go ahead and slingshot the Quack Kid. That's going to be very, very helpful for that Ashura as well. Quake is a wonderful thing when you are having someone also put a wall up on somebody. Meantime, that is Big Bang number 1, I believe, on Xenocat's side. They were able to nerf it successfully, and everybody is still up in very, very good health.
You mean the Sorcerer Robe has good magic defense? I'm shocked.
I don't know, I feel like we talked about that about the, 5-minute mark? It feels so long ago.
Yeah, that was over an hour ago. I don't remember what went on.
But yeah, Xenocat just slow and steady with this fight, not in any real danger at the current moment. Again, with the reflect stats, no worry about a wombo combo of a Big Bang into Medio, since we'll completely skip the Medio phase. Only thing we really need to worry about is when the second shake happens, seeing if we want to try to nerf it or if we're just going to try to push enough damage through to take it out before we get to that point.
Well, 8,800 or 8,400 definitely is a nice bit of damage for that ready to put out, because you really don't want to have to do the second nerf.
Yeah, there's another nuke coming out, and the fact that that nuke is not disappearing from the screen tells me that Xenocat has done it. They have defeated Zeromus. Final time of 1 hour, 39 minutes, and 23 seconds. Get your GGs out in chat for Xenocat. Harumph did unfortunately take forfeit as soon as seeing the dot done. I do not blame Harumph at all. It was a very, very rude seed, and unfortunately just not finding the key there down in the Fame Arch cost him. But well played by Harumph as well, so get your GGs out in chat for him as well. We'll see if we can get one or both of them in here for an interview shortly.
And I do believe we have been joined by someone.
Hello. That would be our winners, Xenocat. GG's, Xenocat. Well done and well played.
Oh, goodness. Thank you. Oh, that seed was gross.
So, why don't we start with that Mac Giant grind?
Yeah, that was one of the more awkward Mac Giants, but I was like, this party is terrible. I have a Blizzard Spear on Kane, an Earth Hammer on Sid. I mean, the Earth Hammer helped facilitate that Mac Giant, but and then I have a bunch of mages, so I guess I'm gonna need to get the mages some spells. I took an egg right before that Mac Giant grind just to make sure Rydia was in slingshot range, so I wouldn't have to do quite as many Mac Giants. And then kind of went through the Mac Giant grind, tried to be aggressive with it, tried to Zerk up Rydia with Charm Arrows. That did not work out because She did not like it. The Zircon Porum was a missed menu. So then it was trying to recover from that, which was fun. But it all worked out.
And because I can only count backwards from 5, how many Mac Giants total did you do?
I think I was counting to about 10. That's how many I intended to do. I lost count a little bit, but I think that's about what I did.
I know I looked it up in the chart as you were starting the grind on screen, and it looked like you needed to do 7 to get to nuke on the 2 black mages. You would have needed to do about 11 or 12 to get to white.
Yeah, I think 11 would have done white. I think one more would have gotten me white, but it didn't matter. I didn't need white. I wanted to play it a little safe because I didn't know how much experience Rydia would take with the slingshot. So I was like, well, I know 10 is going to be well more than enough, so I'm just going to do that.
So my question for you is, when you finally went up Ordeals and saw what was there with the Pan and the Wyvern, did you feel behind at that point?
No, because I had a hook. If it was a Magma Seed, absolutely, I would feel terribly far behind. But because it was a hook seed, and I figure, no one's gonna not check the things that I've checked at this point. I mean, I felt a little bit bad about the wipes at Baron Inn and Baron Castle, but I was like, this seed has been extremely rude. I know Harumph does not like Porum, and I've got a heroine robe from a bunch of extra early looting I did. I might actually still be okay here.
Well, you played wonderfully. It was, as always, a joy to watch.
Yeah. I did not like the fact that I hit go mode before I got 5 characters. That was not pleasant.
You don't want to do a 4-character Zeramus fight with those 4 characters?
No, as a matter of fact, I don't. Especially without a good weapon for Kayn. If I had like a Kayn weapon, Avenger, then that changes everything.
Oh, Blizzard Spear isn't a good weapon for Kayn?
It's functional. It's not good. But it gets the job done on the overworld, so I was pleased with finding that early.
Yeah, well, GG's again. This will even up your series at 1-1 versus Harumph. You'll have 1 more to go to decide who moves on to the round of 32. Do you guys have your 3rd match scheduled yet, or?
Yes, it's tomorrow at the same time.
All right, you heard it straight from the winner. Tomorrow, this time, be on the lookout for Harumph and Xenocat round 3. This one for all the marbles. GG's again. You have any final thoughts?
Just that Harumph is really good. If you haven't seen our first match, go watch it. It was a very good race, and I don't think that this. Harumph performed pretty well in this race, but I don't think the forfeit is indicative of his skill necessarily. He's a very skilled runner, and I got very lucky by going straight underground and checking that Fey March and finding that King Queen to get go mode this seed.
Well, absolutely. And GG's to you. And yeah, we look forward to seeing your match tomorrow.
Thanks. Good night, y'all.
All right, so that was our race winner, Xenocat. They are going to do us a favor and show off the heart music as well here. So we're going to be quiet for a second while we see if we can get Harumph in here and listen to the musical stylings of DJ Swinny B.
And that is Overworld 2 from Super Mario Bros. 3. And I also believe we are joined by Harumph.
Hey.
GG's Harumph, well played. Even if it doesn't like kind of look that way, you played one heck of a race, and this one was a pretty close one, wire to wire.
Yeah, I didn't feel it was that. I didn't feel it was close. Like in the when you're, I guess when you only have your side to see here. I don't think. I don't. There are parts of it which I don't think I did terribly well. And did get a little bit randled out on the looting here. It reminded me a lot of my race against Sorbius back in during the Lolly Ho League, with heroine robes in convenient places.
But was there anything that really stood out to you in that seed?
Honestly, not really. Like I think that I was when I saw the heroine robe here, I went on tilt here, and I felt my fundamentals here kind of went out the window at that point here, because should not have should have taken that many tries against Plague here. Should have just kept it simple instead of trying to get fancy with it. Heroine roll here probably makes Wyvern at Ordeals. He's more straightforward. I felt it was, again, like when you're taking that many wipes here, and you see here that there was a path here to cut down that time significantly. Here you start to make some higher play risks. So I completely ignored the hook route here, went and moved here to hopefully, and hopefully opponent here goes hook route here, doesn't find anything here, and I can find free, double free here, free Bahamut here, and K2E here, and then dive the hook route to the last objective. Find the grind, and then go to the Z fight here. Only found half of free, like cave value. And then once I went down to the hook route here, saw how free that was here, I knew my chances of that were pretty slim at that point.
Yeah, the early moon dive was a great play. Again, finding that Bahamut for that XP infusion, as well as we only get to that Leviathan. You definitely had more XP than Xenocat, going to the point where you guys got underground. You also defeated that water hag first. Xenocat didn't check immediately. Only grabbed the character, then came back to Earth. So you were actually ahead objective-wise for a while too. Just again, kind of randoed you. Xenocat getting the good news about the King Queen Evelyn at Leviathan, whereas you faded the Fey March. Was there a reason that you wanted to fade the Fey March? Was the thought of, okay, if it's here, I've already lost, or was it just completely forgot about?
No, exactly. Here, I didn't. I was intending on being the Fey March here because I figured my opponent here went down hook first. Those Fey March checks here couldn't have paid off if I were to have a chance. So I needed to do other checks. That would have included Twin Harp if it came to that.
Well, unfortunately, with the loss, you fall to 1-1 in the series. You guys have a deciding winner-take-all Game 3 tomorrow night at the same time, as I believe Xenocat told us correctly. Any thoughts for that game, or anything else about the seed you'd like to talk about?
No, I just want to forget about Game 2. Forget it ever happened here. Go into Game 3 here, and again here, I think myself and Xenocat, I think we're very evenly matched here. They're a fantastic runner, racer, and I'm just gonna have to again put this behind me here. One more match, winner take all. Focus on that.
Well, good luck tomorrow, and we look forward to seeing your match.
Yeah. Thank you. Win or lose here, I will probably feel pretty good at the end here. Hopefully feel even better here with a victory tomorrow, but we'll see how it goes.
We look forward to it, and GG's again on this one. Have a great rest of the night, and hopefully forget about this one. Be fresh for tomorrow.
Thank you.
So that was our second place finisher, Harumph. Once again, played an absolutely wonderful game. This one was a nail biter the whole way through. Could have either gone either way at any point, but it was a great one to watch, Alicio.
Yep, this was a lot of fun. But unfortunately, we are finished with free enterprise tonight. But we are going to be sending you off to another one of our runners, Martin Broadcloak, who is doing some ZZ4 practice. We just ask that, don't spoil, but just say, hey, this was a great race. Make sure you watch it.
Yeah, for everybody, go give Martin your love. He's already advanced to the next round of the tournament, so definitely be looking forward to seeing more of him. In the meantime, for our restreamer Escarian, our tracker Warlink, for my co-commentator Alice Hill, I have been Game@017. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight, and we will see you tomorrow at some point.
Thanks, y'all. Have a good night.